let's talk about what is SCEP. So SCEP stands for Simple Certificate Enrollment Protocol, and self-explanatory. It's used for certificate enrollment. It's a little bit older of a protocol, but it still remains by far the most popular way to auto-enroll certificates to managed devices. The first thing that's going to happen is that the MDM is going to send a SCEP profile or a SCEP payload, depending on how your MDM names it. And what's in there is going to be a SCEP URL, the SCEP token, and a little bit of information about the certificate authority. And then so after the end device gets the SCEP profile, it's going to do a few things. So the first thing is it's going to start generating some keys. So it's going to create a matching public and private key. So these are mathematically related. It's the beauty of public-private key cryptography. That's how these things are such awesome mechanisms of authentication. And then once it does that, it's going to start building the certificate signing request, or the CSR. And what's going to be in the CSR is going to be that public key that we created there, not the private key, just the public key. And then it's going to input some attributes of the device. So some common things would be like the serial number of the device. For specific MDMs, there might be a unique identifier to that MDM, like our device ID is a common one. And then I would say the other common one is going to be the email of the user that that device might belong to. And that's going to be helpful for using to go check the status of the user, maybe during a certificate issuance if you have a more sophisticated PKI, or just during like radius authentication. So after we've built the CSR, we're going to take that and we're going to send that all the way over to our PKI or your SCEP server, depending on what your setup is. So the first thing that the PKI is going to do once it receives that certificate signing request is it's going to validate the SCEP URL and the SCEP token. In practice, usually these things are combined. Usually there's a URL that contains both of those things. So actually what would be tacked onto the URL is usually the unique identifier of the CA, and then right after that is going to be the actual token itself. So PKI is going to do that before it actually processes anything that's in the CSR. The last thing it's going to do before we start building the certificate is we're going to check inside some of the policies that we have. For like a really basic SCEP server, it might just check like, okay, what was the CA and what certificate template am I going to apply? So for something more sophisticated, then you might actually go and validate in some other identity sources before we start processing the certificate signing request. So we might actually look up the user in a directory, or we might look up the device in the MDM just to prevent something like a SCEP API token abuse. But after we've gone through all the policies, then we're actually going to start the process of creating the certificate or issuing the certificate. So we're going to take some of the information that's inside the CSR. So if you remember when we talked about some of these attributes here, we're going to actually start placing that inside of the certificates fields based on the template that we have. So usually the template was sort of dictated by what's in the SCEP profile. And so what actually that means is we're going to take maybe the device serial number, we're going to put that in maybe the SAN DNS, we're going to put the user email and put that in the UPN field. We might do some other things. What's also in the template too is it's going to have some other information like what should the key size be, what CA should we be using, things like that. And then after we are mapping out all the right settings and placing the attributes in the right place, it's actually going to start constructing the certificate. So once it's all constructed, the last thing that's going to happen is that we're going to sign the certificate with the private key of the issuing certificate authority. And so after that, we've basically created the certificate. And so we're going to go and we're going to send that over to the client. The last thing that it's going to do is it's going to bind the certificate with the private key of the device. And then after that, we're going to put it in the certificate store. So each different operating system has a unique thing with its own certificate store. They all kind of work a little bit differently, but basically what's going to happen here is once we get the certificate, we're going to bind it with the private key, which should only happen on the device. Remember, the private key should not be anywhere else. It should not be transported or anything. It should always remain on the client device. And then we're going to store this in the cert store, which is going to be in the TPM or the secure enclave of the device. So that we're making sure that this certificate is bound to the device and it's truly going to be something that we can use for device trust. Okay, so in summary, SCEP is a few steps here. It's sending a SCEP profile to the device. The device is going to take that SCEP profile and use the information inside of it to create a certificate signing request. The certificate signing request gets sent to the SCEP server. It knows where to send it because in the SCEP profile, there was a URL and a token that it's going to use to know where to go and also validate itself. Once the PKI, the SCEP server, receives a certificate signing request, it's going to use that information to build the certificate, and then it's going to go send it back over to the device. It's going to bind it with the private key and lock it safe in the TPM or the secure enclave of the device.